still on the One Nation Manifesto, where the All People's Congress, Nado, yesterday, we come back in our studio. Also, we get the publicity secretary for the APC, Sidi Tunis, where they can talk, broke down the English there inside this manifesto, where they can talk about this morning. Well, among the many things, I see now the abbreviated version I get 10 priority areas them from the All People's Congress APC party. We want they say now build one nation, rebuild the national unity and cohesion, address economic deficiencies and the cost of living crisis at the structural level. Also, is intensify efforts in job creation and the establishment of pathways for every adult, especially the youth, women, to earn a living wage, accelerate investments in our people with a specific focus on the capability of our children, women, and youth, accelerate investments in physical and digital infrastructure developments. 6 is a deepen and strengthen decentralization and rural development. 7, enhance democratic good governance and the rule of law. 8, protect our environment and respond to climate change. 9, strengthen economic diplomacy. And 10, foster partnership with the diaspora for national development. Well, family, now the 10 priority areas this of the All People's Congress as then go into campaign. Now see the big words there for with the ordinary people. Just summarize for we before we can take them one by one.
Well, thank you very much, Asma. You don't read the 10 pillars then where we One Nation Manifesto anchor, and them pillars then they all. Hello.
Well, I think we'll get small technical itch with the mic.
Thank you very much again, Asma. Like you rightly stated, we manifesto anchor on 10 pillars.
All right. Well, we get problem with the mic. We continue the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. Now the program this morning, we get Sidi Tunis, the publicity secretary for the All People's Congress APC party, where they can talk about the One Nation Manifesto, where the party put Nado yesterday. Also, then get 10 pillars them. According to them, now this then they take to the people them for make them go vote them in. Sidi, we hope say now the mic don't okay.
Well, thank you very much, Asma. Good morning again to Sierra Leoneans. Like you rightly say, we manifesto anchor on 10 pillars, and you don't read them, and then 10 pillars, and they all get for do with things that where they focus on the citizenry of this nation. You state, for example, the first pillar, we now rebuilding national cohesion, national unity, and building one nation. As we did now, we country more deeply divided, than ever before in the history of Sierra Leone. We divided not only along party lines, we see division, they deepen along tribal lines, we see division, they deepen along regional and district lines, and we feel say it's not good for we as a nation. No country we go develop if peace and unity and we are a nation. The way we structure, there are so many intertribal marriages, intertribal friendships. Even by the nature of our education, the school then they go, it's difficult for we will not mix with other tribes and other regions. So for we can get a country where so much hate, so much division being spread, we feel safe for we heal this nation and focus on sustainable development of Sierra Leone. We first of all get for do things then we bring we together, create opportunities for every Sierra Leonean for make say you get what you go do for contribute to nation building and also for able harness your fullest opportunities and potentials as Sierra Leonean. So we feel say that one day is very important. The economy, we don't need for talk. The economy now one of the biggest challenge we get at the moment. We see a situation where we economic indicators them, they at the lowest in the history of the country. The exchange rate, we see the Leone, they continue for depreciate, as against every other currency you can think about, even including the Guinean franc. With debt burden at this country, they continue for escalate to a point now. We see, say, debt to GDP ratio, for example, now it don't move from 68.7% in 2018 to 23% now, 2022. We're not going to continue that kind of way. So we feel, say, we get for focus on the economy, do then things that we go make, we quickly turn around this economy and see, say, people then begin for able afford then cost and of living again. And we talk about the, for intensify efforts in job creation and the establishment of pathways for every adult, especially young people and women, for earn a living wage. Within a country right now, we say, the job market is limited, a lower, but even bigger than that, now waiting people and they earn. As governments, the focus always don't be on minimum wage, for example, and we all know that. We see from time to time, minimum wage go move from one figure to another. I think now 600,000 now. The current administration been say then go ASAN to 800,000. I don't know if that don't happen. But waiting will not focus on now living wage. The minimum wage not necessarily enough for let people that are able to live by that. And as you and I know currently, it's not enough, because if then they pay you 600,000, a bag of rice for a month don't go 750,000 in some places. Your minimum wage not able to make you live on that. So we get for focus on creating then jobs then we go, result to people earning wages, we go make them able to live on their wages then they. And then we also get for accelerate we investment in people with a specific focus on capabilities of our children, women, and youth. And this is where we get for look at all the aspects and we get for ensure say we develop the human capabilities, the human capital of we citizenry, from education to healthcare, then side in the way for ensure say we bring about the best in our children and our young people. So then 10 pillars then where they talk about all really focus on the citizens themselves. Then things that we'll go do, we're going to improve not only the economy, but going to improve the people themselves, the citizens of this country.
So looking at the 10 core priority area of APC, the manifesto, I mean, on I say 10 things I wanna believe say to help revamp the country economy and all of that. But again, this manifesto we wanna want sell out to the public. We get to be the reason that we will make people and vote on in again. And not too detailed. It's just a 5-page document. I mean, why is that?
So up to you. Sorry, I don't know which manifesto you.
And talk about this way they phone you so.
If you look at what you had to read, we manifesto we put them 2 ways. We get the abridged version, we have this small book, where I hold in my hand, we just in summary they state the 10 pillars them. And that one day now we call the abridged version of we manifesto. And then you see this one when at the detailed manifesto. This now the document itself. Now the book this where they go into details of all them 10 pillars then they waiting at the problems then, waiting at the challenges that we will face right now as a nation, and waiting we get for do the steps then all clearly stated for address the challenges then they. I know why
this day out to the public. in terms of accessing it?
Oh yeah, we don't begin share them to the public. As soon as we come out now the hall yesterday, we get a whole network of how we distribute and share information among the citizenry. This don't go on social media, and we don't also begin for send them out to institutions, both in the hard and soft copies. I glad the way you state that, because a lot of people I don't they follow as national publicity secretary on the social media. I see people they make comments. People will not even read the manifesto. I see one small bubble, for example, with dreadlocks. They dance all over social media. They make comments about the manifesto. Well, not even read the manifesto. Say the manifesto get 10 pages. The abridged version get 3 pages. I mean, that is just flat out dishonesty. Read them it. The manifesto is out. And I go advise, make you go on social media and read them again. So in which
context do they refer to so?
Well, I shall say that one with you on social media. They know what they talk about.
All right. Well,
so I don't need, I'll go for stay on we manifesto.
Well, the
but
time
I just the advice, make you go read them on social media.
With time from studio clock now 8 o'clock, we continue with the program. Sidi, let we look at in details, in depth of the manifesto. Many time we politicians can talk to the subjects, and they can always talk about we want to do this, but the how they miss a link. Can they now let we take the first two priorities of the APC: build one nation and also addressing economic deficiency. You don't explain as to waiting the debate, but how as a party wanna plan for address the economic deficiency wanna put into the manifesto now one where people can go on for no bots.
Okay. So I'll go straight to the house since Nayana you asked me about. So that the people can go understand. One of the major problems where we always face as Israel, as a nation is whenever governments then win, then they tend to focus on, putting people into offices based on them, political affiliations, and mainly not a focus on experts, people who will be able to do the job. So we end up in some cases, as for example, we see now having so many novices in offices as opposed to experts, like how we get for camp ready as experts to run this country. So what we will first of all do, we get for establish capable economic management teams. That we appoint people that we competent, we get experienced Sierra Leoneans with the expertise for lead the effort for revive, for strengthen, for manage, and for put we country and economy back, on a trajectory for sustainable, inclusive growth. That, people will really get the know-how. They get for sit down, they employ them, experts them. We go quickly get we back on track. And then we also say we get for establish, and institutionalize National Economic Council. We will comprise people from the private and public sector for strategize how for provide solutions to the problems that we face now, the economic problems. Anything we get for do with economy, go left the private sector out. And this is now one of the biggest problem. The private sector in other countries, now they not the area where they create jobs for people. So any country where you see private sector, they thrive, it's very easy for let you able to develop your middle income, citizenry. And so we get for focus on that. We get for also focus for prioritize solution for the cost of living crisis we will find with surfing. Prices, they go up every day. Every 2-3 days, dollar value they add, and so price go add, petrol go up, things go up, and they make it very difficult for let me and you able for afford the cost of living. So we get for put together, solution, teams that we go solve them in it. And then we also say, will they instill fiscal prudence and restore public trust in the management of public resources. Government expenditures, we were able to rationalize them. You know, the high bloated and reckless spending we would see from our administration, they cause a lot of problem for our economy. So now one area that one day also where we say we go put focus on. And then in all of this, for let government spend, you get for able for generate revenue for yourself as a government. And the expenditure not for exceed your revenue we they able to generate. So now that make we say we go strengthen the domestic revenue mobilization now this week country. And all of these things they also are the state, we even break them down further. Steps then they will go take also. Like for example, if I say we will say with the strengthening domestic revenue mobilization, we even break them down further for tell the people how will they do them. Like for example, we say we go develop a medium-term revenue mobilization strategy. We go deliberately increase revenue significantly from the current stagnated state we will see, you know, to a more acceptable, you know, we go able to match with GDP. So these are the things we get for do under the economy. And then we also say would they reduce the rise in debt vulnerabilities, and we could maintain sustainable debt level. We're not going to continue for live so as a country where we get a situation now where the debt as against the GDP na 93%. You just not going to able to live on debt, asthma. Imagine you yourself as a person. If you get more debt for pay than the money where you earn, how you go survive? You not go survive. So these are the major core things where would they focus on, where this manifesto clearly state, you know, how we get for lift this nation out of the economic burden. We put a lot of thought in this manifesto. Go around this country, talk to people, talk to experts, look at the economic indicators them now. As somebody they say, for example, we manifesto not even get figures. Well, that is why I don't direct them back. Make you go on social media and read. Make you see the figures. Make sometimes I go guide them for know the economic indicators them under this administration, how terrible they be. And that is why the One Nation Manifesto don't clearly bring solution, not only temporary solution, where they look at lasting solution we go make we survive as a nation for many generations.
See the una manifesto and way una candidate launch it talk about a quick economic and price recovery plan. In as much as una want be a solution, another hand go to say una don't describe the present economy as one way in the worst state. Why una want get a quick fix to something where una already don't say they in a worst state?
For you implement something as the manifesto, you know, they just come, you know, you do a one-off.
But when I use the word quick in presenting the manifesto,
I they come, I they explain myself. I want for break and down. Now that I'm a work. I want for break and down so people go understand what you mean by that. Let's go back, for example, in 2007, what kind of governance? Freetown have been the darkest city in the world, as they be the color, right? So the president then say in 100 days I go restore electricity in Freetown, and it happened. So it not be me say the electricity provision go only be limited to Freetown or that 100 days. It is the same with waiting Dr. Samra say yesterday. Waiting it is saying that because we continue foresee the rise in prices in commodities, because we continue foresee we Leone they depreciate as against the other international currencies then, when we take up governance on the 24th of June 2023, we get for quickly put in place them measures then they we go make the people of this country begin foresee a turnaround of the economic situation we'll find ourselves in. Like, for example, we get for put quick solutions in place for ensure, say, we halt the rise in prices of basic commodities in this country. We get for put quick measures in place for ensure, say, we also halt the rate at which the dollar they go up as against the Leone. These are all things we get for do immediately. Now we get the immediate solutions, we get the medium-term solutions, and we get the long-term solutions. Right. That is how this manifesto is going to be implemented for liberate and redeem the people of Sierra Leone.
Sidi, you don't highlight it 10 priority area them. One thing again where people go and know how APC be try for ensure say they study the country in population and other issues them way related. We may gonna come to in conclusion for say these 10 key priority area will be a solution to for address the economic challenge and other things them where according to the current economic challenge and one way not the worst.
Well, thank you very much again, Saptiu. Like I say, this manifesto is informed, by we study them what we don't do on the economic indicators that we will get our country when it comes to jobs, when it comes to cost of living, when it comes to, the suffering where people they go through, and the sectors them where they inside that make we do this way for focus on the people of this country. It is unlike any other manifesto where you don't see we get promises we not deliverable. We not can't tell you say we they build 200 schools inside 5 years. The practicability of that is very, very minimal. The doability of that one is very, very minimal. And so the impact where we want for see felt now that we forget a manifesto, we speak to the problems of the people of this country. And we forget a manifesto, we go solve the problems. We go ease the burden on the people of this country. That is where this manifesto is focused. And the 10 pillars then we will get inside and deliberate. Clearly, I don't tell you the 10 pillars. I don't tell you how we get for, sort out and solve. They are all clearly stated, and I go stick to explaining them pillar by pillar again since I get this opportunity for there. Asma asked me earlier, about
Sidi,
the
would they come to the next pillars them, but the APC manifesto not to promise also.
We manifesto not to just empty promises. We manifesto is shaped in a way we state the problems as they are, and we state the solution point by point. Like, for example, we talk about building one nation. We state how we country they now, the deep political divide, the deep tribal and regional divide, we don't they see the grow. And we state clearly how would they solve them. Like, for example, we say we go appoint a government, we go reflect the demographic diversity of the country, we go ensure, say, representation of every region and district. Now we country go there, now the government. Then at just one point, we go design an inclusive intervention. We go aim for promote peace and national unity in Sierra Leone. We go protect women, them, young people, and people that will get disability, and even other vulnerable groups. Then we even decide say we go review the constitution for see say no one tribe or region will get dominance, in governance structure or any institution where you find at this country. If you go to other countries like Kenya, for example, no tribe not go get more than 30%. You're not gonna any institution, government institution, you see one tribe get more than 30% of just the tribes inside.
I just want to go to
kind of things, and they will be necessary for promote and develop.
I want to go to pillar 5 of the manifesto. For let we talk about some we just bring in the review of the constitution. This not a new story to the All People's Congress. In the last administration, the review go up to white paper level, but we not see the process done. Why you think say all of a sudden when una get power, una go review again the constitution when una get the opportunity for do?
Well, I mean, like I say today, I really there for talk on the APC manifesto.
Now when you make mention of
yeah, so the governance and continuity, as far as I am concerned, like you rightly stated, we review the manifesto, it go up to cabinet level, we discuss them at cabinet, and we put out a white paper. Now that level they will stop, we come on our government. So now been the responsibility of this current administration for implement the white paper of the previous government. But they decide for do otherwise. They not go back to the nation, then set up a small team of few people, then decide for put their own thing the way they want for see. So you see, if we been follow continuity as governance, we'll not for find ourselves in most of the problems that we find ourselves in now. Because even if with the economy, if they only be continue with economic policies the way they can meet, they not decide for can wipe out people from all of their institutions then they and wipe out institutional memories, we not for don't get any challenges they also they face as a nation. So, we'll be there on the trajectory of growth as a nation. And so we don't come back down because they not follow on a lot of the things the way the previous administration left. So which is why we are putting out a manifesto now. We're going to ensure say we focus on, first of all, healing all of them petty divisions they are, focus on rebuilding our economy, focus on creating opportunities for Sierra Leoneans, so that at the end of the day, nobody not get forget the need say, oh, I get for pull this man because he named Thomas Dixon, I put somebody because he named Joe Bana. So then things and we for live above them as a nation.
See the different thing that we don't talk about in manifesto, now they plan them. You say get immediate and long-term plan. But waiting people eager for no, especially on pillar 2, where they talk about the economy on a plan for address them. Waiting exactly now some of the magic strategy where APC will implement for address this particular problem on the economy. Because you just don't talk about on a plan for do this and this, but how and when it will be reflective. When are the strategy them where una go implement?
Okay, so I mean read for you the different areas them like the manifesto where it get for do with solving the economic problems. And I tell you the headlines of their solutions indeed. Like for example, I tell you about I start first for telling say we will establish a capable economic management team. Since you all go over again. And we say we will appoint competent and experienced Sierra Leoneans them. We get the expertise for lead, the effort for revive, for strengthen, for manage, and for put the country and economic on a trajectory for sustainable, inclusive growth. That's one solution. That one we feel say we need for do quickly. We also say we go establish and institutionalize what we call a National Economic Council. We go comprise representatives from private and public sector. I also talk about that one day. And then you got another priority area where you see, I tell you say, then things that how it is done in the manifesto, every solution will tell you the steps and the things that we will go do. Right. So will they focus on cost of living, for example, we say will they prioritize solution for cost of living. How they do that? Will they conduct rapid assessment of supply chains to inform for the design of interventions for stabilized prices of essential goods.
Sidi.
That now one way will they focus on solving the cost of living issues. Then we say again, we go engage the domestic private sector and major trading partners them for take positive steps for rationalize the cost of fuel, electricity, and public transportation. Then three side and the fuel cost, electricity, and public transportation. We know say that 3 areas then dandy also where the people of this country they face many challenges. So that's now one way. You know, the economy solutions that we would propose, they're wide enough that each one gets a own little steps, just like how they read for you now, so as to how we go solve that. Like I say, we'll not just put out a promising a manifesto way full of promises we will not be able to fulfill.
All right, in all of these first 5 priority areas we don't talk about, you need money. Let's say only 10 priority areas. So one go on for the practical revenue way strategy we want to get for use for support all these 10 priority areas. What strategy we want to get for use practically for generate revenue for the priority areas? Yeah.
Okay, so we talk about strengthening domestic revenue mobilization. How we go do that? We'll say first of all, we go develop what we call a medium-term revenue mobilization strategy. We go deliberately increase revenue significantly. We go significantly increase revenue, you know, and we go ensure say we move from this 14% stagnated revenue we see under this administration.
You think it's realistic?
Very much realistic. This is a strategy where you get for put. And where you put strategies, you focus on things that we go ensure say you're able for do what you say you do. You know, they just jump in. Like we know they just can't say we go increase revenue mobilization by 40% against GDP. Like how we see we neighbors then do in their manifesto where they're not able to meet now. 20% of we GDP go be domestic revenue mobilization. You get for put strategies.
But strategy, you know, they increase revenue. CD.
Just one way. What would they do? Let continue. You know, and we say also we go review and amend the Finance Act of 2023 for ensure say we get subsequent Finance Acts that we informed by research and broad-based consultation. The goal here now for let we increase the predictability of government in fiscal policies. That are the goal we done there. Then we say again we go review the tax structure for ensure say we get fairness and we ease the burden on all of the tax categories them, you know, we see taxpayers, while at the same time we implement policies that we go reduce tax avoidance and we go ensure say evasion of significant, you know, taxpayers' education.
All right.
Tax now one major side where they focus. Plenty people because of the way how we finance act there, you get beaucoup people where they evade taxes, where you know things and they happen where the revenue where government supposed for the gets or the get. So that this self now one major side we get for look at.
So if on our reduce so many tax burden as you state, also want to get for generate revenue from and also the money get for commodity.
And also would they reduce.
You don't talk about reduction of taxes.
And also
you say reduce. You state that.
No,
so we not get plan for generate revenue.
No. I not say would they reduce taxes. I say would they review the current tax structure to ensure fairness and ease the burden on all categories of taxpayers while implementing firm policies to reduce tax avoidance. A different for reduced taxes.
So the area of revenue generation, make that clear. I mean, also owner forget a second option of raising revenue.
Well, we talk about private sector development. We talk about, you know, strategies for increased domestic revenue. We also now get for cut out our relationship with development partners. Them. That one they all day. But as a nation, we also get for focus on we own domestic revenue now that make, when you read further into the manifesto, we also get areas where they focus on indigenous and local businesses. For ensure, say, we strengthen them, we expand them. These are always where we're able to generate.
We want to strengthen them, not so for pay tax in the end.
No country, not they will go able to entirely remove taxes. Asma, you yourself know that one day. No country, but you get for do them in a way we are supposed to people paying taxes to government. People not go to run away for dodge, then taxes, then and reduce the government revenue we supposed for the generate. That is why we are focused on those strategies.
Pillar 6 of the manifesto. We will talk about more of our manifesto or the plans them, how we plan for one in subsequent programs. Today they talk about the manifesto and the 10 pillars where the APC don't put together, and the 6th one na deepen and strengthening decentralization and rural development. Why una think say this na priority and how una plan for one?
Decentralization na one way where you take the government to the people, where you create opportunities for people at local levels. And in the past, we don't get decentralization policies, and Baku areas then they way for be devolved. Then devolved institutions, for example, but they not devolve the functions to local councils. And so that is why you see, for example, in we country, we see a lot of urbanization they happen. People, they move from rural areas, they kind of urban centers for look for opportunities, because we know they create opportunities in the rural areas then. So everybody, they move for Kana city, for Kanfen Oak, for Kanfen living. So we say, for Bisu. So when they focus on decentralization as one way again, where we feel say we for spread development. And how we say we did do them? We say we go demonstrate with far greater political commitment for decentralization reform. And we also say we go ensure say residual functions them we for be devolved to local councils, we transfer them urgently. So for example, Ministry of Health, we get devolved functions them to councils for ensure say we transfer their functions then they whether not procurement of drugs for district hospitals them or health centers in our localities. Okay. These are things we need for do immediately.
Okay. Sidi Tunis, we don't talk about pillar 1 also to pillar 6. Now continue for take we through the 10 pillar them, and now we forgot to pillar 7 where they talk about enhanced democratic governance and the rule of law. Why this now a priority area to now, and how exactly we get to go about to achieve this?
Okay, pillar. Well, first of all, I want for the family understand say the discussion on this constitution or the manifesto not get for end today. As you can see, we get 10 pillars. We all get specific challenges and specific solutions. We the solutions also categorize and then self get ways then we'll go do for ensure say we get the results. We will be impactful on the people of this country. So we go come back, as a party for can't dev. For can get discussions pillar by pillar detailed as to how we really get for go about and things they are. So today I just give an overview of what the manifesto they about, the pillars then we they in the manifesto, and for let people understand say indeed then things where they don't tell Dr. Samura where they travel across the country about the many problems where they face. We don't take them all into consideration, as well as we don't research the way they do, and the research of other international organizations and even government agencies for look at the problems then we'll get as a country and how as experts under the leadership of Dr. Samura Kamara, one of the most experienced Sierra Leonean we will get in terms of public sector management, economy and all of them things, and they for lead we into implementing them solutions they are, so we don't state clearly in the manifesto. The environment now one we all need for take very seriously. We see a lot of deforestation that happen in we country, whether consciously or unconsciously. We see a lot of damage that happen in we coastal areas them and other areas where they cause serious problem for we. We don't see how many floodings we don't get, mudslides and other things them. And we also know say globally climate climate change don't they affect we also. So now that make we say protecting the environment also very, very much important to we for that we focus on this manifesto. So in doing that, we say first of all we get for introduce a moratorium. We get areas then we feel say people know for the damage. We, for example, western area, peninsula area, side and then national park them. We get Otamba Kilimi National Park, for example, and the Gola Forest. These are all side them where we suppose for the continue for protect, for ensure say people are not damaged, And also we say we get for introduce restriction on the destruction of our coastal mangroves, swamps and other. We are a country we get very beautiful coastlines. We get mangroves, they add the beauty and also they make the environment, they look fine, but repeatedly we don't see people they destroy them mangroves then they for various reasons. So these are all areas where we say we get for look at in protecting the environment. Now a plenty, but I will go back to what you say, enhancing democratic good governance and the rule of law. If any party we value this, now we. And for the past 5 years, this last 5 years, 2018 to now, we don't see how much challenge we don't face as a nation when it comes to democratic good governance and the rule of law. We take from, the narrowing of democratic space, especially for opposition parties, and you take the many human rights abuses, we will see the extrajudicial killings and how we see some of we democratic institutions don't become politicized. We feel say this now one area will really be need for pay a lot of attention, and that is why we say in we manifesto that we get for strengthening institutions then for that we able enhance the rule of law. Then, for example, we uphold and promote the separation of powers by making sure, say, provisions that we go secure the independence of the judiciary. That is very important. We get for strengthening them. Or also, we get for strengthening the parliament itself as an institution, the capacity of parliament and as an institution. We get, with democratic governance is such that we get three arms. We get the executive, we get the judiciary, and we get the legislature, we have parliament. The judiciary, of course, the courts and the executive. Now wait till we see the presidency and all the executive governance. All of them arms then they get their own rules and responsibilities as defined in the Constitution. If you get one arm subsumed the other two, as how we see now recipe for take away me and you with basic freedoms, we guarantee we and we for be protected under the institutions then they. And we also say with the review, the recommendations, then we Justice Cowan, our constitutional review report been tell we for able implement the progressive provisions that they inside our review day. And we also say we go develop and we go also enforce robust legal framework them. We go safeguard with democratic principles. So then small law then we get for do for safeguard with democratic principles. So that we not go see the one institution we supposed for strengthening with democracy answerable to just few people because now they appoint them or now then bring them to power.
When we come to pillar 8, I'll be one to do 9, but since you be so much passionate about the protection of the environment, we all see say under UNA administration we get the mod slide when we say the ministry we sell land. Them under that particular area, the plenty one where the mod will be happening, many houses there.
Okay, we still get between the studio Sidi Tunis, so they take we through the core priority area them na the manifesto.
Yes, so as I dey talk about the mod slide, since you're passionate about the environment, the protection of the environment, we see the mod slide under our administration. So you feel say Sierra Leone as a for trust owner when it comes to protecting the environment. When we see the mod slide, we kill plenty people, and because ministries then sell land to people, and we build na area like the mod slide area.
Mod slide happen when the APC been in our governance. That's not for sure. But one thing we go able to pinpoint now that the environment will be in around that area they happen or was established during the APC rule of governance. Or the land they will then sell the now we APC been in our government then sell the land. We're not able to state that. That is one. And secondly, we also
but that environment inside the last 10 years,
well,
it expand like we expand we outside the mod slide be happy.
Well,
you wanna be there in governance for that 10 years there.
Well, one thing I will say, like I say, natural disasters they happen, and for law avoid them, we get for take measures. We don't get landslide, we don't get many other floodings, we don't get, even under this current administration, we don't get fires, we don't get disasters, then we don't happen. So what we are proposing to the people, now that we don't ever take the environment seriously, as we supposed to do as a nation. We get environmental protection agency, now we can't get ministry, but the work we supposed for they do as a nation, we not take them serious. For example, when we begin our governance, we put moratorium along the peninsula. That one day we see it don't be violated. Plenty building they happen. So now we don't put on our manifesto now. And we legislate some of them things then they you look, we forest them. We get over 500 forest guards, employed for the protect with forests. Well, what are they doing? Me and you don't know. And we also see a lot of logging that happen. And that make we say also we get for get an investigation. We go look into the authorization of just one person forget license for timber, for that we able to address the adverse losses them where we as a state don't get in terms of both finances and we ecosystem. So that just they speak to what they say so. So we they tell the people of this country, look, we don't get promises in the past, but in these 5 years we don't see so many promises in manifesto when are based on that the people of this country bring this administration in power. But waiting we don't know as a party and waiting we they come in with to the people of this country, we don't develop a manifesto we realistic where they speak to solving problems where the people of this country don't they bring to we repeatedly, and where we serve from we experience, from we knowledge, and from we service in governance, no say When we take then solutions the Yahoo don't put inside this we manifesto and we're able to implement them well, the people of this country make them trust we say will they change the narratives. We know they can't tell when I say will they fix the economy in 3 months. Like how some man don't can't tell una. We not go also tell una say we'll go fix the economy in 6 months like how people then tell una in 2018. And we then give that person the responsibility for now manage the economy a run and down to wisa we dey so today.
But you talk about
as we get closer to politics, it don't come again say it go fix the economy in 3 months. I want the people of Sierra Leone for look at Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara again as an individual, as a Sierra Leonean with over 40 years experience in public sector management, in economic, and other development programs, them, not only in Sierra Leone, but in other countries. It don't help for build several economies. We don't get challenges like we own. Everything we don't put into this manifesto are things that we passionate about for solve, and are things that we the people of this country passionate about for solve. Right. I mean, once Sierra Leoneans for trust we, for bank on the experience with Dr. Samura Kamara and his team get. Right. I always say,
we look at,
when you Sidi, put Dr. Samura Kamara and Chono Majuba together, we not get any ticket na salon. We get the kind experience, combined experience. We
get two more. We get two more priorities left, and the people deserve for know than they as a way how he informed, especially the strengthening economic diplomacy. I don't know how this will benefit Sierra Leoneans and how we to inform the APC party for bring this into a manifesto. You could just summarize with them, like you say, more time go there in subsequent programs for can talk in depth of the program. But strengthening economic diplomacy, what to inform this and how we go benefit Sierra Leoneans.
We get a lot of development partners that we'll deal with as a nation. We, not only in terms of missions or embassies, we get partners that also where they pour a lot of money in we country for various development strides them, for various development interventions and with relationship with then institutions then and organizations they are very important. So for strengthening the economic diplomacy, not just for let we ensure say we continue the engagement, the involvement, but prioritizing we own development agenda, while at the same time not damaging relationship with their international organizations, and they all losing we own sovereignty as a nation.
The last one, now foster partnership with the diaspora for national development.
Every country gets huge diaspora base. If you look at the revenue, or the money where the Australian diaspora, for example, go they send to their families in this country, it go run into millions of dollars if we look at that. So, and we also know, say, as a nation, we get Sierra Leoneans, the way they live in the diaspora, we go to acquire several skills and expertise in different areas, from medical to engineering to science and technology to ICT and all. So we need for harness then expertise we need for tap into their expertise for help for develop a nation. And that is why it's important for build and for create that kind of partnership and relationship with diaspora base. If you go to a country like Ethiopia, majority of the development a diaspora focus. Now then diaspora based and tap into, where you see then they develop not only coming back home and establishing businesses or sending money for support, but even the expertise. You will get someone who come back home and serve as doctors and lawyers, or engineers, you name them. So we're getting kind expertise them as well as a nation. There are interventions we might want for take, where sometimes locally we not go get the skills, But if we tap into with diaspora base, the skills go there. So we get for Fenway, for encourage them for come back home and for create that enabling environment for let we partner together for develop this nation.
See the owner manifesto where you go to the 10 key area them get so much familiarity with the SDGs. We kind of look like a copy and paste one from the SDGs.
Now, waiting with it, waiting. If you understand the SDG developed for ensure say they move countries to middle income economies. When we develop,
as we wrap up the program now, Sidi, how the ordinary Sierra Leonean go get access or go understand which strategy the APC get for make sure say people get access to this and understand waiting inside the manifesto and convince them for votes the APC.
when they begin for practice decentralization, we'll put now we manifesto through the spread of knowledge of this manifesto. We get forget people where they go now every district, every community for localize this manifesto so the people of this country go understand. We get forget experts, we get for the come and speak on every pillar where they inside this manifesto so that the people of this country go understand. So 98.1 and other radio stations across this nation, we get for they get town hall meetings, community engagement for explain the manifesto to them.